Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another channel. Dad Bryon Lape reads an article poorly. The best segment on this channel, no matter which article I'm reading and no matter what topic. And we're finally back to some pop culture. It's been a while. And even if the movie seems to be either Star Wars or some kind of MCU nonsense. But here's something finally that's not MCU, not DCU, but it is something that I actually watch. So it took me a while to get through, and I've talked about this a little bit on other shows and things, that the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel season 3, it took me a while to get through. It really started to run thin on me, the political BS that it was starting to do. So I don't know if I'm looking forward to season 4 or not. They kind of ended, Midge is becoming really cruel, and maybe this is karma getting back at her the way that season 3 ended for her. But it's I still enjoy the first season the best. It's almost like I don't know how long a break but they took between 2 and 3. It's almost like it took a while for the cast to get up to speed. But I mean, I get it. Some of this, it's very exhausting because some of these things are very long narratives in scenes. And they go back and forth and no cuts. And so we have the cast here. These are the boys. I don't know who these two guys are. I think this is the maid. Everyone else I know who's playing. And then, Midge, what's really crazy is, the lady playing Midge's mother is just 2 years older than I am. And I don't know what age she's supposed to be, but I guess it's supposed to be 50s, but because my daughter's not 30. So that's kind of why it's kind of weird. Fans are eagerly awaiting. So this is from autofreak.com, so take this with a grain of salt. And yes, there are multiple grammatical errors just in the title. So this ought to be interesting. And it is written by like Santosh Kumar. So this is a foreigner, most likely, probably English as a second language. Here's is everything you know about Marvelous Mrs. Maisel season 4. All right. What I think they want to say is, here is everything you need to know. But that's fine. So fans are eagerly awaiting for Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It is an Anna. So yes, it continues on Amazon Prime. But this came up as a suggestion on my Google default page on my tablet. So I was like, I'll look at it. I mean, it's been giving me all kinds of stuff about C# and Star Trek for days upon it, and everything George Lucas. The storyline, there are lots of talents. And this is going to be awesome. We might not. My Hindi is probably just as bad. So not probably. No, my Hindi's. I don't have any Hindi. I'd have to use a translator and pretend I know what I'm saying. We might not understand it ourselves unless we find it on our own by an opportunity. Okay, the show features a 1950s homemaker who directs a life with her family of child and husband. Yep. There's a turning point of her life. She once discovers the talent of humor within her, which took her life on a different path. Yeah, so here we have another cast photo. So when will she be back? That's a good question. So there's Zach. I want to meet him. I actually want to do some workouts with him. So if you're listening, universe, that's Zach and I work together. We're having the comedy drama on the screens. We are okay. So it's been on screens since 2017. Each year has not disregarded the eagerness. So as this season. That's a sentence fragment. Therefore, it seems this string has won the hearts of many people. Now we have no confirmation from the group concerning the release date. Okay, that's actually a good sentence. But, and it probably needs a comma here, but we could make a study of the previous releases. Every season fell since 2017. Oh. I guess what they're trying to say is we could study, look at when the other seasons came out and where they all fell since 2017. Who are going to be the cast of the 4th season? There's no Marvelous Mrs. Maisel without Rachel Brosnahan. Absolutely. And I've seen pictures of her. I know it's not her natural hair color, but I like her as a redhead. And I love her as a brunette too. The blonde doesn't work for me, but I don't know what her natural hair color is. Besides her, we might also have Tony Shalhoub, Michael Zegan, Maureen Henkel, Alex Borstein. We have some debuts with this particular sequence, but we don't have any confirmation on who'll be those individuals? Who will be those individuals? Okay, so what is season 4? But we don't have a teaser. So what in the world is this article for? I really thought this was going to tell me something because I didn't read it till now. And maybe I'll go read that. There's a link to another article. We don't have a teaser or any trailer or sneak peeks of as of today, so it's not easy to guess. Okay, what that could be the continuation. What could be the continuation? It's bad. It's poorly written, and bad enough. But the prior period was a cliffhanger. Yes, it was. Ms. Maisel was fired at the airport. This made us raise questions of her career. And she had just committed to getting her apartment back for her parents, and they were getting ready to move out of her in-laws, or her former in-laws. This quarantine has made us, Marvelous Maisel is one of them. I don't even know what they're trying to say here. They're getting delayed, yeah, because of all the stupidity over that. All right, and this is something else. So can I do this? Okay, what we know, Marvelous Maisel. Okay, so this is season 4. This is a different Kumar, but it's on the same thing. So this is May 31st. So when was this other one? Oh, today or yesterday. Yeah, and I really like her. And Tony is quite a bit older, I do believe. It's been almost 6 months since the makers announced the renewal of Marvelous Miss Maisel for a year. Since that time, there hasn't been any update about the series. Marvelous Miss Maisel's cast, the majority of the cast is expected to be returning. This is actually written far better. For season 4, Kevin Pollak as Moshe Maisel. Tommy Shalhoub as Abraham Weissman. Maureen Hinkle as Rose Weissman. And then, okay, we had blah, blah, blah. Who is this person? This is her agent. That's Susie. But who, I think. Maybe this is Susie. That's the mother-in-law. That's the mother. That's, what's her name? The comedian. I think she does, actually they all do very well. I mean, this is the thing about this cast is it is like very talented people. And I don't know if there is a casting mistake yet. It is so perfectly cast. It's unbelievable. Since the makers have just revived the season, there are not a lot of spoilers for season 4. Nonetheless, in an interview, celebrity Caroline Aaron, who plays the part of Joel's mom, Shirley, hinted that season 4 is not going to be an easy struggle for its Maisels, as they are trying to adjust to the changing life of the 60s. Yeah, that's also part of what's coming up in there. Okay, but the early 60s were not the late 60s, so they're going to probably have to do some artistic license here. Going to bring this world, and I would imagine, okay, so really there's not a whole lot. It is into the 60s, and we'll see what happens. But there you go. See, there's her agent, Susie. That's Joel, her mom and dad, and her former in-law. But this is like a season 1 thing or season 2 picture. But anyway, so we have 2 articles that tell us nearly nothing at all, which is fine. This is just probably just to keep the the titles in the search engine so that things can be found. But hey, at least they are putting some information out. So there we go. We know very little except the time frame. It's a good, and a part of it too is, do they skip forward? Is it literally picks up the next day, the next week? Is it something that it's been several years since that crushing defeat, and she's been doing club scene? We kind of get in a rambling dialogue, a little bit of exposition, which is fine. The way that the cast does those long hyper scenes is so great. I mean, these two are just, you'd swear they're mother and daughter, just the way that they act so, similar. They definitely have in the writing, and obviously, it's good acting and good writing here. Combination is she's kind of picked up on the proclivities. Her character has picked up on the proclivities of the character parents, and it's a little bit nice combination of the two. It's really great to watch. So and some of it's over the top, but you got to be a little bit over the top to make it entertaining. But it's all, like I said, I don't know if a show has ever been more perfectly cast. At least not recently, maybe MASH. But This show is just, it's so tight. Sopranos was nearly perfectly cast too. And there's only, you'd have to really, and again, good writing. You start with really good writing and a good cast of talented individuals committed to what they're doing, believing what they're doing. This is the result, and Sopranos is the result, and people talk about it. I think, this is, I think, a very underwatched series on Amazon. And but The Tick was also really good too, and it got canned, and it was well cast as well. So anyway, hopefully more details will come out later, and we'll know more about The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel season 4. I hope it's better than 3, but we'll see. And 3 wasn't bad. It just was a downer from 1 and 2, and it took a while to get going. And it's one of these I had to turn off several times. And normally when these come out, if I have the time, I binge watch every episode one after. I mean, I've stayed up to 2 or 3 in the morning binge watching every episode, just go blast through a whole season. Season 3, I actually had to step back a couple times, so we'll see. So what do you think of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel? What are you looking to see in season 4? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for sharing and retweeting and everything else. And new subscribers, thank you very much for joining the fun. And please click that like button. It really helps. And I will see you. Goodbye. Yeah, that's the Polish maid or whatever. Yeah, I think that's who that is. It's not the friend of. She doesn't seem to be. These two are like looking at this camera, and everyone else is looking off to the side. All right, that's funny. Okay, but what are my feedback levels? Yeah, input looks good. That's fine. It's a little light, but that's fine. All right, 3, 3, 2, 1.